May 14, 2019. I'd like to stand for Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd like to have a moment of silence for Lester Pancratz, who passed away. He was a longtime employee, teacher of the district, coach, what else? Administrator. So let's have a moment of silence for him and his family. Thank you. Monica, can I have roll call, please?
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Moreno?
Here.
Mrs. Quintana?
Here.
Mr. Rolla?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
I'd like to have a motion for the approval of the minutes for April 22nd, 2019, April 23rd, 2019. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the meeting minutes of April 22nd and April 23rd, 2019.
May I have a second, please?
I second.
Roll call, Monica.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
And at this point, we're going to have recognitions and celebrations, and I'm looking for Ms. Menard. School presentation? Okay. So,
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. I'll be speaking on behalf of Ms. Menard. My name is Sarah Ely. I'm the music teacher here at Alsup, and we are honored to have you here, especially to hear us play and to have our staff be recognized this evening. I'd like to introduce you to the members of our Eagle Rock Band here at Alsup. We have Edgar, Justin, and Alex on the drums. We have Anna and Mateo on our bass. We have guitar Ethan, and then our vocalist Devea and Bernice and Jaden on our keyboard. We're just missing two of the members of our band this evening, and we're just so honored that you would come and hear us here at Alsup. So thank you so much. We would like to invite you to come down. If you'd like to see us from the front, I think you'll get a much better vantage point. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have only been playing since January. None of the kids knew how to play any of these instruments before we started. So I just want another big round of applause for these awesome musicians. Thank you so much. And we are going to retire our time back over, I think, to Ms. Menard, or however with recognitions, I think. Thank you.
So I want to thank again our Eagles Rock Band. You guys did an amazing job. Can we give them one more round of applause? Thank you so much. So in continuance of our recognitions tonight, they're going to shut down here as we continue on. I have two more recognitions that I'd like to announce, and I'll begin with our Learning Lab recognition. So at Alsup, we're fortunate to have 2 autism learning labs. We serve 16 students between these 2 classrooms, and each day, our teachers and students are faced with a variety of obstacles ranging from social and emotional needs to academic needs. And each day, our students walk out of school proud and successful of their accomplishments, even though they might be minor. Recently, our programs underwent a diagnostic review of their programming in their classroom environment. And I am so proud to announce that both of our programs met model status by CDE expectations. We missed having a perfect score by 1 point. So because of that, I would like to recognize them, our teachers and our paras, for this huge accomplishment and all their hard work that they put on a daily basis to meet the needs of our exceptional students. So I'd like to call up Lauren Valentine and Lindsay Stanton. These are our 2 classroom teachers, and they are supported by 3 paras each. I think we have a few of them here. So I have Ashley Yanez. Come on up. Ashley. Denise Fernandez. Diana Spencer. Myra Casillas. And Heather Stevens. And Yadira Rivera. So it is because of these amazing ladies that our 16 students are able to show their exceptions and show their successes. And I want to thank you all for the hard work that you put in making our Alsup Learning Labs successful and a model area to be. So thank you.
here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more. Ready, set. Thank you. All right, let's see right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more. Ready, set.
Okay. All right, so I will move on to my second recognition. I am a very proud principal, so I have lots to share. Our second recognition includes some of our students as well. So our second recognition, I would like to recognize our Battle of the Books second place district winners. Beginning in second quarter, our students worked with coaches to read a variety of texts and practice answering questions related to each of these texts. In this competition, the answers are given in the form of the book title and the author. And so showing up to this competition this year, we were there to defend our first place trophy. In the end, Kemp beat Alsup by 1 point, putting us in second place. Our students worked hard and showed great sportsmanship throughout the competition, and for that, they deserve to be recognized. I would also like to recognize the time and effort our Battle of the Books coaches gave our students throughout this event. Thank you for taking the extra time to build relationships and coach our students to success. I hope you guys had as much fun as they did. So I would like to recognize our teachers, Miss Jillian Porterfield, and our other 3 teachers weren't able to be here right now, and I'm going to recognize our students that are here. I saw Zachary Nielsen, and Matthew Petco is here. Giovanni Giron Zamora. Is Dante here? Dante Federico is another one. Harrison Ferrugia is another one. Audrey Zazueta and Pedro Velasquez Lucio. Our students that represented our Alsup Battle of the Books competition. Let's give them a round of applause. Matthew's a little bit next to Miss Porterfield. Giovanni's with him.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more. Ready, set.
And those are all the recognitions that Alsup has for tonight.
Brian Clark.
All right, President Quintana, esteemed members of the board, I'm Brian Clark, the assistant principal at DuPont Elementary School. Thank you for creating the opportunity for us this evening to recognize one of our own. For 22 years of service to our community, we're here tonight to recognize Pat Almeida, teacher, coach, assistant principal, and principal over the years. And we have a number of teachers that are here to share in this recognition. I'd like to invite Kate Harrison, third grade teacher, to come and read the recognition that our teachers have prepared for us.
Okay. Good evening. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try my best. All too often, we equate what we do in education to numbers. Class size, growth percentiles, achievement scores, graduation rates, and this list could go on and on. Although there are a lot of numbers that many people share with you at board meetings, it's my honor this evening to share with you a fraction of the countless accomplishments that Pat Almeida has achieved during her extraordinary career with Adams 14. Pat has dedicated all of her 22 years of service to DuPont Elementary. Over her 4,092 days of service, she has been a teacher, a coach, an assistant principal, and principal. Even though I could speak to her many accolades from all of her roles in education, I'm going to focus on her work as our inspirational leader. If I had to share the most exceptional characteristic that Pat radiates, it is love. As we all know, it takes a big heart to do what we do on a daily basis, and she has unconditional love for the faculty, students, families, and community of DuPont and Adams 14. As a principal, Pat has managed to balance the needs of her teachers and students with the overwhelming demands that education requires. She has been our fellow parent, urging us to take care of our own children when they needed us. She has been our shoulder to cry on and patiently handed us tissues when we were going through our darkest times. She has been our advocate when we have experienced injustices and fought to right the wrongs that we have faced. She is our cheerleader when we needed a reminder of our purpose for why we are on this journey, and our support when we need guidance with professional choices. Some of us may be sad that this chapter is ending. Rather, we need to consider the opposite. The past 22 years have been an exciting, challenging, rewarding, arduous, and inspirational chapter to thousands of people. And as we all know, there are many chapters to every story. If you consider the average number of students Pat has impacted, it would be an estimated 5,000 students. If you consider how many teachers she has collaborated with, it would be in the hundreds. If you consider all of the personal sacrifices she has made, they would be endless. All of these accomplishments have prepared her for the good stuff, the stuff that dreams are made of. A Hawaiian cruise with her husband, a couple that recently celebrated 40 years of marriage on May 12th. Weekends with her 8, soon-to-be 9 beautiful grandchildren, uninterrupted conversations, and endless time to spend with her 3 children that she has endless pride for, and the list could go on and on. There are a lot of numbers that I have shared with you over the past few minutes, but I would love to end with the number 1. We can all agree that Pat Almeida has had one amazing career, and more than anything, our greatest hope is that you feel all the endless love that you have so selflessly shared with us over the past 22 years. Congratulations, and even though you will always be a DuPont dinosaur, we are beyond excited to see where this new chapter takes you.
I just want to say that it has been probably one of the greatest honors in my life to serve the students, the staff, and the community of Adams 14. It has been a privilege and an honor to work alongside all of these educators, to serve all of you that are out there. Thank you for that opportunity, and the fight's not done. We're just getting started, so please ask me to come back.
Looking right here, ready, 1, 2, 3, one more please, ready, 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Sandos?
Esteemed board, it's with great pleasure and pride I speak before you today. Henry Adams told us the teacher affects eternity. He or she can never tell where his or her influence stops. And that's the case with this teacher that I honor tonight. Where'd she go? She's probably hiding. She's not very good at this word stuff. Danielle Jones is just an amazing teacher. She has 2 students over there that are being shy as well. But this amazing woman is taking the Congressional Scholars Program to a new level. The American History and Civics Academy will take place at Gosher College in Baltimore, Maryland. Ms. Jones, LAHS student Ariana Rivera, on ACH student Lauren Martinez will be joining her. Both are exceptional young women. Together, they will dig deeper to enhance our understanding of our nation's government and see where it all happened. They're going to visit multiple sites in Washington, D.C., Gettysburg, and Fort McHenry. That's not all. I have today Ms. Kathy Jensen here, who is from the Adams County League of Women's Voters. She has nominated Ms. Jones to be a part of the Harvard case studies. Please give these folks a hand, and girls, can you come join me? Oh, we're not done. We're not done. Some of the most exciting people I know are right here in front of us. I have yet one other one I'd like to share with you tonight. As they say, this story just popped. Arkip Saratovstev is a 4.0 student. He is an all-star student. He mentors middle school children at Kearney every week. He spent 3 days at the National Key Club Convention. He is president of our Key Club. He's sponsoring programs and activities. One of our key players in this will be DuPont Elementary, so it's wonderful to follow Pat on what we do every week with the DuPont kids. Arkip is also a martial artist. He's learning to be a competitive wrestler on using those skills. That's not why we're here to talk. We're here because Arkip has been nominated to attend Harvard University. 2 weeks doing an extensive pre-med program. You see, Arkip wants to be a surgeon like his mother. So can you please put your hands together for Arkip Saratovstev? You guys want to talk? She doesn't want to talk, but I want her to.
Good evening, Madam President, fellow board members, esteemed guests. I would like to extend my thanks to Chris Elnicki from the Colorado Center of Civic Engagement and Learning, Kathy Jensen from the Adams County League of Women Voters, and Dr. Patterson for sending out consistent communications on content-based professional development, and to my building principal, Mr. Paul Sandos, for his continued support. I want everybody to know that between March and April, I've received communications from Dr. Patterson and Mr. Paul Sandos about the Presidential Academy and the Harvard Case Method Project. One of the reasons why I'm trying to pull students is because they deserve these opportunities. And it is enabling me to do my best to be a better educator. I don't teach for money. I teach because they deserve the best, and I am trying to deliver the best to these individuals here and to the ones that are coming up. But I just want to say thank you, Mr. Sandos, because you believe in me. That's a big deal. Thank you.
Looking right here. Ready. 1, 2, 3. One more. Ready. Set. Thank you.
Thank you again. Have a great evening.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Shay Carter, and I am the Director of Student Services. Tonight, I have 3 separate recognitions, and I'd like to start with Alicia Martinez-Holman. She is a bilingual preschool teacher at Rose Hill. She is highly skilled as an educator and able to teach students with a wide range of abilities. One of the things that makes her stand out as exceptional is her ability to advocate not only for the needs of the students within her class, but also for young learners and early childhood educators across the district. Alicia volunteers her time, resources, and knowledge to efforts in support of young children. She definitely is a wonderful asset to Adams 14.
I wasn't expecting to say a speech, but I would like to thank, honestly, I would like to thank being able to be a part of Adams 14. I love teaching preschool. It is my passion and my joy, and I am so thankful to be able to have the opportunity to be at Rosehill Elementary with Mr. Kamas and Mr. Haggerty and my wonderful companions, and to also be part of the preschool community. We are a strong team, and I just feel so blessed to be able to do what I do, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Our second recognition tonight is Jessie Cates. This is Jessie's 5th year as a special education teacher, but it's her first year in Colorado, and we are so thankful that she chose Adams 14. She has done a wonderful job immersing herself in our community and understanding this unique community. Jessie has strong relationships with all of her students. She looks for competence in each child, viewing differences as strengths and areas to grow upon. Her focus is always around the needs of her students. Jessie is a joy to work with, and her compassion and dedication to students with exceptionalities can be seen in her daily trauma-informed approaches with her students. Again, we are so excited that she chose Adams 14 as she started her career here in Colorado. Jessie Cates. I have one more recognition this evening, and I would like to ask the central team to come forward. The individuals coming before us are the true definition of a team. The central team works seamlessly to have an all-hands-on-deck approach. They cover one another during times of need. They flex their support staff and other resources, and the team lives and truly breathes the idea of students first. They rally around each child to provide the most appropriate support and interventions that will allow students to access the general education curriculum to the best of their abilities. The administration is also to be applauded. They are inclusive in their practices. They welcome diversity and differences and encourage their staff members to do the same. We are also grateful for the front office staff as they are so welcoming and inviting to all. Central is a safe place for students with disabilities, and we thank the Central administration and the entire staff for supporting all students by putting the needs of students first. The Central team.
Okay, everybody a little closer, please. Ready, 1, 2, 3, and one more. Ready, set. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. We have finished another successful season of spring sports, and I want to definitely congratulate our student athletes from Adams City High School and wanted to give them recognitions for their hard work this season. I would like to first have the teams come up, and then their coaches will give you a few short words on the season. So can I get girls golf?
I just want to thank these young ladies for going out for golf. They just really performed very well this year. I want to see them continue. I want to congratulate Bree for graduating this year as our senior and team captain. I just want to want to congratulate them on just their hard work as students first, because all of them I never had to worry about their grades, and all of them are enrolled either in AP classes as well. So I want to thank them for their hard work in the classroom first, and also just want to recognize them as just they were first-year golfers. My other golfers, we had 7 out for the team this year. Most of them were first-year golfers, but they were not too far behind the leaders in the state, in our region, and EMAC. So I just want to congratulate them. They did a great job and continue in athletics, and look forward to working with you again.
Next, I'd like to bring up track and field, Coach Nick Wilkins.
Good evening. So for our track this year, we had a couple places at EMAC. So we had our 4x1 for the boys, 4x2. I think our girls 4x2 also placed, and then we had a boy place in the 200 as well. So a little bit more successful year this year. We had a couple more kids come out. They had some of them left a little earlier. They were here early. So we just have Linda today, who is also in golf. But overall, a pretty successful year, especially with all the weather. We had a lot of hard times getting meets in, so we didn't get a lot of meets in this year. But overall, pretty successful year. So.
One, two, three.
Show them a picture, Wilkins.
All right, we'll do that again. Ready, set.
Next, I'd like to bring up boys baseball with Coach Cam Tallman.
Most of my boys are practicing right now, so getting ready for summer ball. But coming in about 3 weeks before the season started, it was a tough start to the season. Towards the end, we started playing really, really well. Actually got our first 2 league wins at the end of the season. The boys are getting excited about summer ball and the way the program is progressing, and we're looking forward to move in a more better and right direction as the years go forward. So.
One, two, three. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to bring up girls tennis. Girls tennis.
I did have more girls here, but they had to go home. Some of them had homework. Very proud of these young ladies. I had a group of 33 girls on the tennis team this year. We had some success this year at regionals. We had our first doubles place 4th and our 4th doubles place 4th as well. So it's been a long time. And I also had my 4th doubles. They took second league, second team all conference this year. So very proud of them. It's been a joy trying to balance 33 girls on 4 tennis courts, I'm gonna tell you, so we can use some more courts. Just throwing that out there. But I just want to thank my girls, and thank you, Mr. Denmark. It was a great season, and I love you girls. Thanks.
That looks great. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So many of you. I'm going to take one more picture. Ready, set. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to bring up girls soccer. Girls soccer.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and esteemed guests of the community. My name is Colette Beausoleil. I am the head girls varsity soccer coach. We also have our JV head girls soccer coach here, Rebecca Keene, as well as a few of our girls who were able to stay, Genesis Suarez, Leilani Suarez, and Litzy De La Rosa. So I came in as my first season this year, and we actually, even though playing 8 games in 11 days at the end of the season, we were able to win 4 of those games, bringing our overall record to 6-9, which playing 80 minutes of soccer straight over a period of days can be very taxing on bodies, and we definitely experienced that this year, and the girls were great fighters, and we really appreciate their dedication for the season being there. Specifically, I want to mention a couple of accolades that we did earn this year. Litzy was actually named second team all-conference in defense, and we had our goalie named as second team all-conference as well, and one of our junior forwards, Amy Quinones, was named first team all-conference for the second year in a row, and she's a junior, so we know she'll be returning next year. And then we had 2 midfielders as well earning second team all-conference, Andrea Jimenez and Alejandra Hernandez. So even though those ladies are not able to be here tonight, definitely wanted to recognize their efforts as they were recognized by the other members of the EMAC conference. So I'm looking forward to a second season, and it's going to be really hard to let go of Litzy and some of our other seniors, but hopefully they'll come back and help support. Thank you.
One, two, three. Thomas, I'm sorry. Step this way just a tad. There we go. Now we can see you. Thank you, sir. 1, 2, 3. Great.
And last but not least, boys swim.
Did you tell me I was Didn't know that. Thank you. My name is Rich. I'm the first-year swim coach for Adams City boys and girls. Thank you for that. A handful of our boys here today. None of these boys had any formal swim team experience before the beginning of the season, and spring swimming is 12 weeks long, so we got a lot done in a short amount of time. Our season ended on Saturday, where we actually hosted the EMAC championship. Got a good foundation and nice boys, and thank you for the opportunity. Could I have a couple of the athletes come over on this side? Let's step over closer. There we go. What's his name? There we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to also recognize Miss Sam Rogers, the athletic secretary. She did a great job this year in her first year as athletic director secretary. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to start back up on the regular meeting. And go ahead. You got it.
Your next item is for the approval of the agenda, and I believe you have an amendment to consider tonight.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the agenda as presented, with the exception of moving item 1.0 personnel to the end of the business calendar.
Can I have a second?
I second.
Roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
We'll move on to business. 1.1, Superintendent's recommendation. Approval to submit a grant application to the State of Colorado Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management under the School Access of Emergency Response Grant. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 1.1.
May I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Monica, roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 1.2, Superintendent's recommendation. Approval to submit a grant application to the United States Department of Justice under the School Violence Prevention Program grant. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 1.2.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second 1.2.
Discussion? Seeing none. Monica, roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 1.3, Superintendent's recommendation. Approval to accept grant funding from the City of Commerce City Parks and Recreation Department through the Colorado Health Pro Foundation. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 1.3.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item 1.3.
Roll call, Monica.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.1, Superintendent's recommendation, approval of Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver contract extension. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.1.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item 2.1.
Discussion? Seeing none. Monica, roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.2, Superintendent's recommendation, approval to contract with Outreach Experts LLC for public community engagement training for Adams 14 administrators, staff members, and parent leaders. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.2.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item
2.2.
2.2.
Discussion?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out how come we're not using or look at Team Tipton. We're using another company, Outreach Experts, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, there is only one organization in the world that provides certification in public participation. The International Association for Public Participation, which started in the United States and now has spread worldwide, is the only organization that issues this certificate level training. With your permission, allow me to explain that public participation is any process that involves the public in problem solving or decision making and uses public input to make sustainable decisions. High-quality public participation is based on specific industry values, a time-tested code of ethics, a spectrum of engagement from informing to empowering, a complex set of guidelines for planning and convening, and a rich toolbox of engagement techniques. The Foundations course in public participation was developed by IAP2, the International Association for Public Participation, and it is the gold standard in P2 training in the United States and around the world. It is not a good idea to begin the process of engaging our community on important issues and decisions in moments of conflict. But this is in fact what our institutions are doing across the country. As institutional leaders, particularly in public education, we need to build capacity for better engagement and deliberative problem solving and decision making before issues arise. The IAP2 curriculum is comprehensive and robust. It empowers individuals with the theory and the tools to be competent deliberators in their families, in their neighborhoods, and their community. An important value that students of P2 learn is the importance of listening with interest to the people they are most likely to be in conflict with. You can do a PhD in communications and never take a course in listening. When we listen closely, we transcend positions and discover shared interests and build bonds and understanding. And good P2 does not mean that everyone agrees, but it's likely to ensure that disagreements are informed, not personal, and we can plant the seeds of respect and mutual understanding. In my years of working with the International Association with Public Participation, I've seen communities transformed by this work. And with this level of certification and training, we can more quickly shift the culture of our community to a participatory community. And I believe, and I know from my experience, that this training will have a profound impact on our staff and our community.
Madam Chair, I still have another question. So, Mr. Pointer, are you telling the Board of Education of Adams 14 that you have affiliation with this company?
I am on, the International Association for Public Participation is a nonprofit, and I serve on the board of the national organization, and I serve on the board of the International Association. I do not receive any payment whatsoever.
So you do have affiliation with this company? Yeah, that's what you're telling us. It ain't about the payment.
No, the company, actually, I don't have an affiliation with. The company is a provider that I'm not affiliated with. I am affiliated with the source of the curriculum, but not with the provider.
So the company is located in Chicago, correct?
That is correct.
And on the website, you are part of the outreach program or something on the website?
No, I am a member of I am on the board, a volunteer board of the International Association for Public Participation.
Okay, and if this was approved, it's saying that this board is to give this company $23,630. I think that's a conflict of interest, and I think that's part of a board policy too, that you bring in this in front of us. Does anybody else in this board, have you talked to, Mr. Farrow, as the legal counsel of this board, is this legal or not legal? And is this against board policy?
Madam Chair, I haven't been asked to look at this before tonight. I don't know enough information about this arrangement to provide a legal opinion about that. I would urge the board, if Mr. Poynton has said that he doesn't receive any financial remuneration, that would seem to be typically one of the main ways in which someone would have a conflict of interest. So it certainly would be appropriate to ask Mr. Poynton directly if he feels he has a conflict of interest, and if not, why not?
Do you have a conflict of interest, and why not?
I don't believe I have any conflict of interest. What I believe is most attractive about this particular company is that the trainer that they use has 30 years of experience in public participation or civic engagement in the public sector. All of the other trainers that I've known work primarily in the private sector.
What I'm not understanding is, this is acting superintendent recommendation to the board. How come this was not brought up prior to tonight? How come that I have to, on my way coming here, have to look at this and see that your name is part of the, you say board, but I see something different on the name, your name on there. And I don't feel comfortable as a board member voting for this. I don't feel comfortable that it should even be on our agenda. I don't even feel comfortable that I'm even looking at this as a board member. And I'm really upset that this should have been talked about prior to it being on our board or in an agenda.
This was scheduled to come before the board in a previous meeting, but due to the board's schedule, it was removed along with a number of other items. But the intention was to bring this to the board previous.
Madam Chair, I'm out of question.
Okay.
But I would like to reiterate that I am in no way receiving any kind of remuneration. What I would be doing is bringing the highest quality training to the district.
Madam Chair?
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Poynton, do you receive any type of, any other type of benefit, personal or professional, from the approval of this recommendation tonight?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, Monica, can we have roll call?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
No.
Thank you.
Moving on to 2.3, Superintendent's recommendation, approval to renew Microsoft Campus agreement with CDWG. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.3.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second.
Discussion? Seeing none, Monica, roll call?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.4, Superintendent's recommendation, approval to purchase HP Chromebooks. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.4.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item 2.4.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Monica, roll call?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.5, Superintendent's recommendation, approval to purchase 26 Epson classroom projectors for Central Elementary from Counter Trade Products Incorporated. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.5.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item 2.5.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Monica, roll call?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.6, Superintendent's recommendation, approval for contract between Adams 14 School District and Homies Unidos. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of item 2.6.
May I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second item 2.6.
Discussion? Seeing none, Monica, roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
And now we're down into communications.
Madam Chair, excuse me. Actually, you have your consent items that you moved down, routine agenda.
Okay, can we have, we're going down to the consent items, personnel. 1.1, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I think it's my understanding that there is someone here that has requested an executive session
So
on this.
the first issue would be if anyone has a pull from the consent agenda. The whole purpose of the consent agenda is that everyone agrees.
Yes.
So if someone does not have unanimous consent on the full list, you would pull the numbers off then, and then act on what's left, and then proceed with any that are pulled off.
So is there anyone we want to pull?
Yes. Yes. 2 and 63.
All right, do any of the other board members have any removals from the consent agenda?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move approval of item 1.1 under personnel with the exception of item 2 and 63.
That's a proper motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second to approve item 1.1 with the exception of 2 and 63.
Any question, discussion? Monica?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
So at this point,
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. At this point, you have one individual that you pulled off the consent agenda that has requested to address the board. You have noticed a personnel executive session tonight with the proper statutory citation, CRS 24-6-4024F, and now would be the time to entertain a motion to proceed into executive session.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to proceed into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-402, paren 4, paren F, personnel non-renewals.
Madam Chair, I second.
Monica, roll call.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
And right at this time, we will adjourn into executive session. We're back in session from exec session.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So before we went into executive session, there were 2 items that we left unaddressed, and that is number 2 under non-renewals, and I move the superintendent recommendation for position number 2 under non-renewal.
That's a proper motion. Do you have a second?
I second.
And just a little bit of discussion on this. So I think this board views this change in classification as a formality, that it's clear that the employee under consideration here, Ms. Crawford, is no longer in a teaching role, but yet a support and tech role. And so I think this board views this position change as a formality, and that we are certainly grateful to Ms. Crawford for the work she's done, and that as the incumbent employee, she should be given every opportunity to continue on in that position. And so we look forward to seeing that recommendation.
Can I have a motion?
Well, Madam Chair, yeah. You're still in discussion on the
Okay.
motion to approve superintendent's recommendation.
No? Roll call?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
And Madam Chair, I move superintendent recommendation for item number 63, appointment of Lisa Martinez as assistant principal for Kemp Elementary School.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Monica?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
And I believe that concludes, doesn't it?
Include your business items, Madam Chair. You've got communications now on your agenda.
So we are in communications. Laura, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I just wanted to add that on Thursday, I was fortunate enough to attend Hanson's music recital or festival, and I was moved by the passion that these students have in dancing, different kinds of music, and just their commitment. And so I just wanted to share that I'm actually very proud of all of the students for their commitment and their well performance at the music festival.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just would like to say a thank you to Alsup Elementary for hosting us this evening, and congratulations to all those seniors who will be graduating this weekend. Looking forward to celebrating in person.
Mr. Rolla?
Just like to say that we attended, some of us attended the ROTC, and it was a great awards assembly there that cadets were able to get their awards and move on. And I think we have 2 that have signed up for the military. Both of them are going in the Marines, I believe. So that was good to hear. Also like to thank Alsup for their allowing us to come in, and to the kids to the band that played, and also for all of you that care. And if you don't care, thank you. Care or don't care, this is where I learned how to hit the long ball in baseball. As a young boy, I grew up, this was my school, and this is where we would come in the summer, and we would hit from here, wiffle balls, and if you hit it over the brown, it was a home run, and I used to win those home run derbies a lot of the time. So, thank you.
Mr. Thomas?
Thank you. I want to thank Principal Bernard for this great hospitality today at Alsup, especially the band. I'm sure by his coming, it made up for the teacher chewing us out 2 weeks ago. So I almost said, how come all the kids wasn't there since we got chewed out? I know, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the great hospitality. Also, I want to bring to the board, before the contract is approved for Mr. Pointner's company, I would like for Mr. Farrell to write a letter requesting if Mr. Pointer is getting paid from that company. So I would like to see if I could get a consensus from the board on that, please.
Laura, do you, no? Senator, no? No? Me, no.
So that went quick. So since I couldn't get a consensus that the board did not want to send our attorney to send Mr. Pointer's company letters asking if he's getting any entitlement, any money from the money that this board is sending $23,360 to. Believe I will look up the board policy to find out, because I believe it is a board policy, and I would like to ask Mr. Farrell, would he look for that board policy to see if any district employee benefiting should not be doing, should not. So that's what I'm requesting. Thank you.
Okay. There isn't one communication I have to present. That is, the DAC membership on May 8th decided they would like to meet with the Board of Education on May 21st at 4:30 in a study session. Can I get a consensus? Is that okay? At 4:30 on May 21st. It's okay with me?
I'm okay with that.
No.
Laura? Dominic? Okay, it's good. Harvest is the only one that won't make it. Oh, he'll be there. And I think that's about it for the evening. It's 9:20. Study session is over. Board meeting.
Madam
Sorry.
Chair, excuse me. Before the board adjourns, I think you do need to convene an executive session for a real estate matter tonight. That was on your agenda.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I did see that.
Statutory citation is CRS 24-6-4024A.
Madam Chair, I move to proceed into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-402, paren 4, paren A, real estate district properties.
Second.
Discussion, seeing none, roll call, Monica.
Mrs. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla? Mr. Thomas?
I thought it was time to go home. No. What? After this adjournment session, there will be no further business coming before this board. Thank you for being here this late.